Call to order the regular council meeting of July 11, 2011. Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Allen. Dixon.
Here.
Givens.
Here.
Hannon.
Present.
Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Page. 7.
7 members present. This time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time, I'd like to turn to chair announcements. On July 11, 2011, before we came out, we had an executive session on personnel issues. We turn at this point to the reports of the officials, the librarian's report.
Good evening. My name is Christine. I'm the director of Your Public Library, where we provide services to inform, inspire, and enrich the community. I want to start by saying that the library is still looking for board members. We right now have a full complement, but 2 of our board members will be, their terms will expire in the fall, and so we're looking for 2 new board members. It's an opportunity for you to give back to this wonderful community, be an advocate for the library on the local level, and also to the county and to the state through your elected officials. It's an excellent leadership development opportunity. It only requires about a 2-hour-a-month commitment. The board meets once a month. There are some committees, but they meet quarterly typically. We are looking for candidates that have fundraising and marketing experience. So if you're interested, you can send a letter of interest and a current resume to the library, to the director's attention. Library is using Constant Contact as a way of keeping in touch with patrons. If you have kids in any of the schools, the PTOs use Constant Contact. It's an email marketing software. It's very affordable. So you'll be getting information on programs and services electronically from the library, as well as through the Chronicles. We currently have over 6,000 people. If you have a library card and you have an email address that you gave the library that you want to be contacted about overdue items, or if an item comes in for you, then you are in our database. If you're not and you would like to be, you can just call the library. Some programs that we have coming up, of course, summer reading programs in full swing. That goes through the beginning of August. Tomorrow, Tuesday, July 12th at 7 o'clock, the Pittsburgh South Writers Group will be meeting. It's just a group. They get together and they offer each other inspiration and they give some constructive criticism for writers. We have, a great program. On Wednesday, July 20th from 4 to 5 o'clock, we have a group called the Zing Hoppers that are coming. This is one of the top-rated children's entertainment groups. It's for children birth through kindergarten with their caregiver. We ask that you register because we do have limited space. Rob, our resident computer guru and reference librarian, is teaching a class on digital cameras on Thursday, July 21st at 2 o'clock. He'll cover taking pictures, downloading those pictures to a computer or to a storage device, or uploading them for email or web page use. There's a great program that the Youth Services Department has been offering this summer. The next one will be Wednesday, July 27th at 6 o'clock. It's a they do service projects. So they write letters to soldiers. They make crafts to take to the retirement homes. They did a box for us to collect school supplies for South Hills Interfaith Ministry. And what librarian's report would be complete without talking about fundraising. We have a Christmas in July instant lottery wreath right now. There's $50 of scratch-off lottery tickets tied to a wreath. You too can have a chance at winning that for a mere $2. The drawing will be on Friday, July 29th as we close at 5 o'clock. You need not be present. We will call you. If you want information on these or any other programs or services offered at the library, you can just visit bethelparklibrary.org or you can call us at 835-2207. Any questions?
The manager's still looking for the dunk tank.
Maybe Community Day.
That would be an excellent idea. There'll be a line of at least 10. Could we turn to the police chief's report, Lieutenant Dermer?
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Chief Mackey asked me to make a couple of announcements. One has to do with an ongoing problem that not only we've been having here in Bethel Park, but also Peters, Mount Lebanon, neighboring communities, and it's asking people to lock their cars up at night. As recently as last night up on Mitch Haven, we had 3 cars entered up there. Fortunately, as far as we could tell, there's nothing going on. Resident looks out the window and sees 2 guys in his vehicle. They ran down over the hill towards Braun Road. We were unlucky. We didn't get them. Upper St. Clair had some better luck than we did. They arrested last week 3 guys entering cars over on Trotwood Drive. So we're just asking folks, please lock your cars up at night. Leave nothing of value in there. No GPSs, no cameras, no money, no firearms. That's been known to happen also. Also, we have 2 announcements in regard to promotions by the police department. There'll be this coming Sunday, there'll be a free community-sponsored event on Sunday, July 17th, from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. in the South Park Oval. This is the Rev Up for Kids car cruise. The Bethel Park Police Department will be there doing ID cards, and the Bethel Park Fire Department and Tri-Community South will also be there. It's a good time that we give out really nice ID cards to the kids, so if you can make it, show up, please. And also, the Bethel Park Police Pals and the Bethel Park Rec Department have teamed up to provide our community with an opportunity to go to a Pirate game. I think maybe we're more inclined here since they're winning a few games. To take advantage of this offer, you can access the order forms at the Bethel Park Chronicles on the police department, or excuse me, in the Bethel Park Chronicles or on the police department website. The following games are available. Friday, July 22nd, versus the St. Louis Cardinals, you receive a free T-shirt. And Friday, August 19th, versus the Cincinnati Reds, you receive a free T-shirt. That's all I have for this month. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other comments? Hearing none, can we turn to the fire chief's report?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob Brown. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief at the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. Also have our Assistant Chief with me here tonight, Dave Garber. We're going to switch things up. I'm going to take care of the fire report. And Dave's going to have a couple special presentations we're going to do this evening also. So I'll take care of the report at this time. For the month of June, we had a total of 24 fire calls. Break them down a little bit for you. We had 7 structure-type fire calls, 2 motor vehicle assist where I believe 1 had injuries and there might have been an extrication on the other one, I believe. 3, it's considered in our reporting system a hazardous condition. What they usually are is odor of natural gas. We had 1, actually it turned out to be a controlled burn. It was a report of smoke coming from, I believe, the wooded area over near the high school. Turned out to be the folks had a fire pit going in their backyard, which was fine. The big item in usually every month we give a report was we had 10 false alarms this month. Most, if not all, were unintentional. I believe we had 1 that was considered intentional, but I believe it was a patient at Manor Care that pulled the alarm on us. So that totaled up to 24 for the month. A couple other items I just wanted to mention this month. It may seem redundant to some, but we like to get out there as much as we can that CO detectors and smoke detectors do save lives. Unfortunately, you read the downside of that where there are fatalities at fires, and they have no working smoke detectors. So we, as the fire department, we recommend you have at least 1 CO detector and smoke detector. Ideally, you should have 1 smoke detector on every floor of your home, and if you can, in every bedroom of the home also. A reminder, every Saturday we have bingo down at our Brightwood Fire Station. Doors open at 5, bingo starts at 7. You can always use new players down there on a Saturday. So if you have nothing to do on any Saturday night, come on down and see us at the Brightwood Station. And along those same lines, our second mailing for our annual fundraising will go out this week. If you already donated on the first one, just ignore it. If you haven't, we'd ask that you please do. We rely very heavily on the citizens of the community and the businesses to keep our ship afloat, so to speak. So if you can, please donate. And are there any questions from council?
No, you're in the clear.
With that, I'll have Dave come up for our special presentations this evening.
Mr. Segrimus, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Maurer, you want to come up? This is probably a surprise to you, but I just need you up here for 2 seconds that we can recognize a couple of your Public Works employees real quick. On June 24th, a couple weeks ago, about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, we had a fire call. We got called to assist the police and EMS for a gentleman that was trimming a tree, and he was passed out up in the tree. We were asked to come down to help get him out of the tree. When we arrived on scene, Chief Moore and firefighter Greg Miller actually arrived on scene first to find the gentleman was up trimming a tree. He was having some type of medical emergency and fell. He was hanging from his rigging and stuff about 25 feet up in the tree or so. He had fallen 5 or 10 feet from where he was actually trimming the tree. It was raining. It was kind of an ucky day. We brought our ladder truck down. At the time, we couldn't get back to where the gentleman was with the ladder truck due to the weight and stuff. So Chief Moore called Public Works and asked if they could bring the bucket truck down. And in a timely manner, they brought the bucket truck down and another vehicle with, I think we totaled 4 people that came down to help us that day. Firefighter Miller, who also, like I said, works for Public Works, when we arrived on scene with the truck, he was about 15 feet up in a tree, clung to the tree trying to calm the gentleman down. The gentleman was hanging up in the tree, wasn't any longer passed out, but he was in an altered state of consciousness, having a little bit of an issue, yelling and screaming because he was hanging there. Along with hanging there, he also had spikes on his shoes for, you would see the telephone guys climb telephone poles and stuff with. So he had 2 or 3 inch spikes hanging off the bottom of his legs. Also. So the fire department managed to raise a ladder up into the tree. It was hard to get, so we had 4 or 5 guys down trying to hold the ladder while we had a guy climbing up the ladder. We had ladders everywhere, ended up making an A-frame. We were still having trouble. Public Works backed their bucket truck in. None of the fire department members knew how to use it, so the Public Works gentleman, Bob Edkins, I apologize, went up into the bucket, helped gain control of the gentleman, helped calm him down, get him into the bucket. Along with getting him into the bucket, the other members of Public Works, along with the fire department, police department, and EMS, held onto the rope hanging, keeping him safe up in the tree so he didn't fall down. We don't normally do this, but we do appreciate what Public Works does for us. At the drop of the hat, they dropped everything to come down, take care of help take care of business and help rescue the gentleman from the tree. So what we got tonight is we got a couple of plaques that we'd like to present to the members of Public Works that come down and helped us that night. Right now, and the plaque says, in special recognition to Robert Edkins, also Dan Clausen's here with us tonight. The other 2 members we'll mention in a minute here are on vacation. In special recognition for helping to save a person's life on June 23rd, 2011, presented by the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. So at this time, can we have Dan Clausen and Bob Edkins come up so we can present these plaques to them? Yeah. Very much. We appreciate it. As I said, we appreciate you guys' quick response, great help. Like I says, fire department, police department, EMS gets called on to help put their self in harm's way trying to protect the public. Public Works doesn't always get asked to do that. So when they do, we greatly appreciate Mr. Segrimus, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Maurer, and Council for letting those guys come down at the spur of the moment, dropping whatever they're doing, and we appreciate you guys coming down and helping us out, because like I said, it was kind of a tricky thing that day with between the guy having, like I said, some problems up in a tree, and like I said, he was dangerous with the spikes and all out of his. It was definitely something to see. So we thank you guys very much, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Also, just one more thing real quick. The 2 other gentlemen that responded with Public Works was also Ron Gorecki and Jonathan Winfield. And as I said, both of those gentlemen, I was told, were on vacation this evening and could not make it down. So Other than that, I believe that's all we have. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, we turn to the mayor's report. Mayor Morton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And good evening, everyone. Thank you especially the fire department, police department, the EMS. We have all these wonderful people that spend their days just making sure that our lives are more comfortable. We're going to have a couple of things tonight. Let's begin again, as we usually do, with our 90-plus club members. We have half a dozen or so people who are 90 and above, and they're having a birthday this month. Ludmilla Oster is 91 years old, born on the 4th of July. Anna Marie Superior is 93. Doreen Duke is 95. Larry Amy is 93. Jean Zulik is 94. Excuse me. Jean Zulik is 94. Ellen Wilson is 93. Mary Williams is 97 this month, and Dorothy Fitzgerald is 105. And happy birthday to all those folks, and may I be reading your names here one of these days also. I can just imagine that. Somebody said, I don't think I want to be in that club. I think sometimes maybe I don't either. All right, happy birthday to those folks. We do have a couple of special guests here tonight, and if I have them come forward, they're going to talk to you folks about something. This is Judy and Jim Willison in period costume. They will tell you who they are representing, and I'll give you a little heads up. It has to do with our celebration for the 125th anniversary this year. So, without further ado.
You're older than 100 even.
Yes, you are.
Going back further than that.
We're all excited about the 125th anniversary of Bethel Parks Incorporation, but the truth is, history was being made here 100 years before that. This area was opened to settlement in 1770, and there were a lot of patriots from right around here who went back to fight in the Revolutionary War. 14 of these veterans are buried in Bethel Cemetery. We'd like to invite you to walk with us through this historic burial ground and, meet the neighbors. Come and learn why Nathan Couch felt that it was necessary to build Couch's Fort on his land. Meet the Miller family, where the first shots of the Whiskey Rebellion were fired in 1794. Living history reenactors from the Oliver Miller Homestead, Bethel Park Library, and Bethel Presbyterian Church will be here to take you back in time on Saturday, July 23rd, from 1 to 4, with tours beginning on the hour, and we'll meet up at Bethel Cemetery. We hope to see you there.
Judy and I will be portraying James and Mary Miller, who were two of the early settlers.
Jim, speaking
Oh, I said Judy and I will be portraying James and Mary Miller, who were two of the early settlers. We would also like to invite you to come to the Oliver Miller Homestead on any Sunday. We're open 1:30 to 4:30. This particular Sunday, for example, we're reenacting the first shots of the Whiskey Rebellion, which were fired on that site, actually on where the golf course is now in South Park, in 1794. So right now I'm James Miller. I'm promoted on Sunday. I'm General Neville. But the bad part is they shoot at me. So the good part is that it's over my head and blanks. But we'd like to thank you and hope that you'll come for the cemetery tour on July 23rd. Thank you.
Aren't you going to do that again in October?
Yes. October the 15th, I believe. And it will be the same times and pretty much the same tour.
Dick Baptist here from the Historic Society. Just the other thing you had?
I can add, I would just say that Christine McIntosh is one of our presenters.
Yes, she is.
Well, we can't get that. Thank you so much for coming.
That's great.
You're going to take the tour over at the cemetery?
Absolutely.
All right, that's good. That's great. I believe that's all we have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. At this time, we turn to the approval of the minutes, and Mr. Hannan.
I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of June 13th, 2011.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the regular council meeting minutes of June 13th, 2011. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Dixon,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Hannan,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. This time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls. Mr. Hannan.
Move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 071111 in the amount of $799,258.63.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 071111 in the amount of $799,238.63. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons,
Yes.
Hannan,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. This time, I'd like to turn to the resident comment section for non-agenda items. Hearing none, can we turn to I'm sorry. You'd state your name and address, and we have a 3-minute limit. If you
Yes. Hello, my name is Jan Pasquini, and I live at 168 Iron Run Road. I'm here tonight to update you, the council, on some of the failed contract agreements between the Waddell Group and this Bethel Park Council on behalf of myself, the property owner. I've endured this new development now for around 3 years, and I'm here to tell you how I've been majorly inconvenienced by this project, with my yard being dug up for the new utility lines, along with my driveway being dug up also to put the lines in. And then once again, when the sewers had to be reconnected to the Bethel Park properties that you guys, allowed them to build on. As of right now, when they came to do my driveway, I had asked that my original contractor, Eric Langkamp, be given the bid, and he was not given the bid, so Woody brought in his own contractor. And I have photos here to show you what a wonderful job that contractor did on my driveway. So as of last year, when I had contacted Gene and Woody, they told me that it was too late in the season to pour my driveway and that I would be first on that agenda this spring. Well, a month ago, again, I did contact Gene, and I was told that it's no longer the borough's problem, that it's between me and Waddell. And I was very surprised to hear that after my property has been destroyed numerous times. So I'm here tonight just to verify that in this agreement here, that the developer, as per in this agreement that is signed by the borough, the developer agrees to repair any damage to homeowner property caused by the development, including construction. And I'm here to ask that my property be redone. And once again, I will endure the ripping up of my driveway so it's done satisfactorily. Also on here, I'd like to address, too, the developer agrees that it will limit any construction to the site of ours of Monday through Friday from 7 to 7. Well, as early as Mother's Day weekend, I was woken up at 7 a.m. with backhoes digging in the dirt pile next to my house. And obviously, I'm sure everybody in this room was probably still asleep, but we weren't. And on a weekend, there's no one to contact, no one's in their office. So we call the borough, and I'm sure the police can look up all the dockets of the residents that have been called numerous and numerous times about the hours that are not being upheld. So, like I said before, I'm sick of the dirt and, the contract not being upheld. My house has been destroyed. My ductwork is filthy. My carpets are filthy. This is just one photo here of one blind in my house that I had the privilege of, washing myself, trying to keep up with the dirt that has been, damaging my home. So at this point, I really don't know whose job it is, but I really feel as a resident and taxpayer in Bethel Park, it is not my job to keep contacting people to have my property restored to the original, condition that my house was in. So I'd like any input from anybody that is going to try to help, because Woody just does not return my phone calls. And I've been told now by Gene that this is not your problem either.
If you could leave the picture of the
Sure,
driveway with Kathy.
Yes, I have extra copies.
Okay, we will look into that. It's normally a private issue, but we will we will have Mr. Segrimis check into it about getting the driveway taken care of.
Well, it's not like I haven't tried. I've been in contact with Gene. I've been in contact with Woody. And once again, it's now July, and I get to have my driveway ripped up again. And I want my contractor to do it this time. I don't want just some fly-by-night that, it was pitted in 3 months.
Okay. We have our staff follow up. And as far as the after-hours working, I would encourage you to call the police department.
We have called and called and called. Sometimes they come. I've been told it's not a Bethel Park. It's a Peters issue. Peters is allowed to work. I'm like, no hours of operation.
We'll talk with the police department.
I've been directed to Peters. There's no one to call on the weekend. They try to sneak in with their trucks. There's no one to call. No one's around. The police have the documentation of us and the neighbors calling with the machinery coming down at 7. You can look it up. I mean, there's numerous calls, not just from myself.
Okay, we will continue to call. We'll check into it with the police department also, please,
All right.
Especially on off hours.
Well, like I said, I just, I want my home restored to the way it used to be.
Okay, we'll
Thank
have
you.
somebody follow up. Thank you. Are there any other residents who would like to speak? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare? General policy and finance, and Mr. Hammond.
There's one item on general policy and finance this evening, Mr. President. Move that we appoint Jerry Pfeiffer to the municipal authority for an unexpired term to end on December 31st, 2012.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We appoint Jerry Pfeiffer to the municipal authority for an unexpired term to end on December 31st, 2012. Any discussion on this item?
Mr. Murray,
Mr. Harrison.
I'd just like to let people know that Mr. Pfeiffer worked for the municipality previously. He left for financial considerations for his family. I mean, no other reason. So this appointment is putting somebody in a position that is going to, in the vernacular, is going to start off running because he's very familiar with the municipality and the work that needs to be done. So I think we're very, very fortunate that Mr. Pfeiffer applied for this position, and I'm sure he'll get our votes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Any other item or any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Spagno, please call the roll.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Hannon.
We have no further agenda items on our general policy and finance, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hannon. Are there additional items?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison.
For people who follow things that go on up here, you're probably aware that I've been working on getting the state prevailing wage legislation changed for 7 years. And I've had a lot of contact with a lot of legislators of both parties. And the hold-up, John Marr, who is my state representative, twice has put in legislation to upgrade the legislation, and it went to the Labor and Industry Committee and never saw the light of day. Although I've communicated with both state Republicans and Democrats telling me that if it makes it to the floor, they're going to vote for it. They're going to vote for a change. Now, there's no guarantee exactly to what extent. I'll tell you that the prevailing wage law says that if a contract's estimated to be over $25,000, you have to get a prevailing wage determination to the state. I've published and update every year a document that shows that that's approximately $200,000 now, just using the increases, and I got the percentages off the website, and I cite the website, so to speak, so anybody can check on it if they want to. The reason I'm bringing it up tonight is that let me tell you, it potentially would save municipalities and school districts and municipal authorities and all that considerable money if it was updated. So I simply thought I'd highlight it and indicate that if you're so inclined, contact your state legislator and tell them that you think it's high time to make the change. The legislation was signed by Governor Lawrence. Right, a lot of people never heard of Governor Lawrence. When he many years ago.
Who?
In the late, yeah, who, that's right. I'm just saying that's the vintage of the legislation, and it hasn't changed since then. So $25,000 in those days was about $200,000 in this day due to inflation. So I'm just encouraging people as I run into them to contact their legislators. I can tell you that just the contacts I have, and I've dealt with a lot of people over the years. the time is right to get it done. You know, it's one of those things, if we can't get it done now, it'll probably never get done. So if you care to do that, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to planning and zoning and Mr. Dixon?
Mr. President, we have only one item under planning and zoning tonight. That's application 2010-1080. Bethel Park High School, revision to construction schedule, major land development, 309 Church Road, Bethel Park School District applicant. I move that we approve application 2010-1080, Bethel Park High School, revision to construction schedule, major land development, 309 Church Road, Bethel Park School District applicant, in accordance with the municipal planner's correspondence dated July 7th, 2011.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. We approve application number 2010-1080, Bethel Park High School, revision to construction schedule, major land development, 309 Church Road, Bethel Park School District applicant, in accordance with the municipal planner's correspondence dated July 7th, 2011. And at this time, if I could ask Mr. Duke, our planner, if he can give a brief overview of what we're voting on tonight.
Sure. What you have before you is a new application for the construction of the Bethel Park High School. As everyone's aware, the school district is currently constructing the high school. This land development application was reviewed and approved by the municipal council back 2 years ago. One of the conditions of approval for the original land development was if there was any modifications to the construction schedule, then the school district had to come back to the municipality to review it as a new land development. That's caused the school district, as they were pulling their plan or the construction, it became apparent to them they weren't going to be able to live with the approved schedule due to a number of different factors, and therefore they came to the municipality with this new application. In essence, one of the things that was an issue was the demolition of the existing buildings and the construction of the parking lot, which is known as Parking Lot A, which is where on the area where the current buildings are, where this campus is located. So in their application, they've presented a new schedule for the construction of the high school, and also a schedule for redoing and building the new parking lot. One of the major issues that was looked at with the Planning Commission up to this point was the bus drop-off and pickup schedule. They have met with the Planning Commission a number of times, and I believe have come up with a plan that was an effective plan, and it'll work in the interim time period until that new parking lot is put together. However, under this new application, there are still a couple of conditions of approval that we're recommending. One is the school district still needs to receive the necessary variance or form of relief for the construction of the parking lot. Before they want to open the school, there's going to be a parking deficiency of approximately 331 parking places. Now they're asking for the variance to the zoning hearing board, and that is something that they're going to have to go for to receive that. So our recommendation is that the plan be approved subject to them receiving the variance or the necessary relief.
Okay. Is there any other discussion from council?
Mr. Murray.
Mr. Harrison.
I'm going to vote against this motion, and it's been my past practice. I always explain why I'm doing it. I think the request for action tonight is preemptive. The school district has indicated they want to start using the building in January of 2012. They have indicated, and as Jerry Duke indicated, they have not met all of the requirements, so I'm told that we couldn't issue a permit, and so they have to seek some legal relief. And Mr. Toll, sitting out here, who represents them, indicated that there's maybe a variety of things that can be done. But my take on this, if we don't approve this tonight, and the school district doesn't get their legal relief, then there's no harm done. If they get their legal relief in a timely manner, put it before us, then the slate's clear. And I just don't see any reason to put on the record a motion that may, in fact, not survive because they may not get the legal relief they need. And I don't know, but if they do, I'll sit up here and vote for it. But if they don't, then this council doesn't have to take any action. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Mr. Dixon.
Just a point of clarification, really, more than anything else. We routinely do this kind of thing for any developer that comes in, any applicant that we have. We vote to approve a plan, or we vote against approval, but we do have a vote based on the fact that certain conditions have yet to be met. In this case, there are some conditions that have to be met. There were a list of conditions, as Mr. Duke alluded to earlier, and several of those conditions have already been met. They do, however, have to go before the zoning hearing board to get at least one variance, maybe more. And so it's not uncommon for this council to approve a plan for an applicant based on the fact that these conditions have yet to be met. If the conditions are not met, they do not get the variance, then this approval is null and void, and they go back to square one, or appeal it, whichever Mr. Toll sees fit. I think I know which way you'd go.
Mr. Barry.
But I just wanted to make that point of clarification. So we do this routinely for applicants when they come before us and they have conditions that need to be met yet. This puts them in a position to take immediate action once the variance is granted, assuming that that will happen, and they don't have to wait, reapply, come before us, and maybe have another month or two delay when time is critical. So I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Mr. Harrison.
I just wanted to indicate that what Mr. Dixon says is true, but in a lot of cases, the things that have to be done, the contractor or the people who are making the proposal. In this case, it requires variances of some sort or the other, and lots and lots of cases, and I think many cases, when the people need these variances, they seek them before they ask for approval of the action. But whatever, it just, I suspect it's going to pass, but I do think that there's no need to do it at this time.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Brien.
I do respect Mr. Harrison's opinion. However, if you are in favor of it tomorrow, what's wrong with being in favor of it today? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Mowry?
Mr. McLean.
I just wanted to point out, I think very similar to what Mr. O'Brien just said, the variances, as I understand it, that will be sought will not have any effect on the plan that is before us right now. They'll either receive those variances or they will not, but the plan will be the same. And therefore, if the plan is approvable, then it's approvable tonight, just as it would be if we waited. And we have, as Mr. Dixon pointed out, on many occasions moved the application forward where it's complete enough for us to provide our approval. And I know from 20 years on the Planning Commission, we did this on a pretty regular basis in exactly the same circumstances. So it just seems to make common sense to move this forward.
Thank you very much. Are there any other discussion?
I thought it was 24 years on the Planning Commission.
I'm trying to reduce it so I appear younger, yes.
He started when he was 12. Okay, hearing no additional items, Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Harrison.
No.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Dixon. Yes. Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
6-1.
Motion passes 6-1. Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, we have no other items under planning and zoning this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Are there additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare? Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under Health, Safety, and Welfare, we have one item, an ordinance with respect to the installation of a stop sign. I move that we approve the ordinance for the installation of a stop sign to stop traffic in the southerly direction on Murdoch Avenue at Long Street.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the ordinance for the installation of a stop sign to stop traffic in a southerly direction on Murdoch Avenue at Long Street. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Dixon. Yes. Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. Mr. McLean.
We have no other items, Mr. President, under Health, Safety, and Welfare.
Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance? and Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. There are no items tonight under Public Works and Maintenance, although I do have an announcement.
Mr. O'Brien.
Just to let the people know, the Veterans Memorial Committee for the month of July, for the honor of the 4th of July, have changed all 11 3x5 flags in the memorial to Old Glory. So if you get a chance, come on down. It's very beautiful. It's very inspiring in honor of the 4th of July and our veterans overseas. Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there additional items? Is there a motion to
Move
adjourn?
adjourn.
Second? All
Second.
in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Hello, this is Nancy Meyer, and I'm a resident of Bethel Park. Did you know that our wonderful community is 125 years old this year? Well, it is, and we're searching for that person who has lived here longer than anyone else. We have lots of activities going on over the next few months, and we'd like to honor that special person who has lived here continuously for the longest period of time. Just come up to the library and look for the flowered box on the circulation desk. Give us your name, the date you moved here, and your contact information. You can nominate yourself or nominate someone that you know. I'll be calling you to let you know how we will honor you as our very special resident. And please watch for information about all the other special activities that are going to be coming up in our community over the next few months to celebrate our 125th anniversary.